Palm Sunday. We're gonna get you guys revved up here, and Alan and Austin are gonna play first. All right. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing with us now. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Yeah, everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who you come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Let us hear a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, get funky now. Here we go. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. Everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Good morning. Nice to see all the friendly faces we love. We're gonna do a little disco thing here. Everybody say, ooh, 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 ooh. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. Let's dance, you guys. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, dance, yeah, I dance my joy into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. Everybody do it now. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ready? Here we go. That's the way, I like it, that's the way, I like it. That's for you, Jeffrey. That's the way, I like it, that's the way, I like it. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. Wake it up now. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. Yay, we had some dancers. Thanks for dancing with us.
Good morning. Now, just because I'm nervous don't mean you have to be nervous. Good morning. All right. We at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral lands of the Kauai, Gabrielino, Tongva, Keech, and Luiseño peoples. We commit to live in right relations, to love our neighbors, to seek justice and loving kindness, and to walk humbly on this land. We recognize our oneness so that we may decolonize our minds and set each other free from the pain of racism and violence, to live better as Great Spirit intended, in harmony with nature and with one another. So good morning and welcome, everyone. All right. I know some of you confused because I have the Reverend Jeff clothes on today, but I am not Reverend Jeff. I am James Woods, and thank you, I appreciate that.
Yay, James.
Awesome. And we are at RCSL, where love lives here. Awesome. I am honored to be your host today. As you know, Rev Jeff is on sabbatical, but we are in very good hands, okay? I'd like to say hello to everyone joining us on live screen, so I'm gonna go check this to see who's on live screen today. Let's see who's all here. All right, we got, I think I'm doing this the right way. I can see myself on live screen. All right, how do I check live screen? See who's in the comments? All right, if you're in the comments, say hello. I'll check back again. Awesome. Okay. So I want to remind everyone in the sanctuary to please put your phones on silent. So just click that little button on the side so that our time together is uninterrupted. All right, so this is the first Sunday of the month. This is August, all right? So this is, it's time for acknowledgement of any birthdays in August. Anybody? Hey, come on, understand that.
Yay!
All right. 25th birthday.
Should we sing to her? Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cindy.
Happy birthday to you. Yay!
Awesome. Okay. Now, does anyone have any anniversaries for the month of August? Hey, awesome.
Oh.
Hey,
all
2
right.
anniversaries. All right. How many years?
Couple for 10 and married for 8.
8 years. Nice. Awesome. All right. How many of you? 50.
Oh, she wins. Winner.
He came in just in time, too. Congratulations, everyone. All right. So I think it's time to dance again.
It's time to dance.
It's time to dance. So
have
please,
that as our mantra.
come on
All
up
right,
and
here we
dance.
go. We have come together as family. We have come here as we are. Oh, we have come with arms wide open. dancing with us.
Good morning. I am Ed Ryan, one of your licensed spiritual practitioners here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, and I'll be available after service for a brief moment of prayer in the prayer room, which is located in the lobby. Please don't leave here with anything on your heart this morning. We would love to pray with you, and we absolutely know that prayer works. So now let's take in a deep breath and let it out. Close your eyes if you're comfortable in doing so, and allow the music to take you into the silence, followed by this morning's invocation. And I remember who I am. I remember that God is truly all there is, that God is that wisdom of the ages, that peace that passes all understanding, that unspeakable joy, that love, and that freedom of the boundless universe. I remember that I am one with God, and that we are all one with God and one with each other. And so I remember that I am one with that joy, that peace, that love, that freedom. I am one with God's energy and vitality. And as this is the truth for me, this is the truth for all of us present here. We are one with God, one with each other. And in knowing that truth, I know that this day is a day that God has made. And I remember that God moves, breathes, and has its being in and as me and even and as each and every one of us. I know to remember that truth of this day, and we all remember that truth of God expressing through us and as us. And we take a new attitude this day to see things through the lens of spirit, to see God all around us, to see God within ourselves, and to live from that truth, to live authentically as centers of the living spirit, as an emanation, an expression, a child of the divine. And we know that God is with us every step of the way, going before us to prepare the way to make all the crooked places straight. And as that light of God shines upon us, we see God in everyone's eyes. We see God in the beauty of nature. We see God all around us. And we know that this is the truth, and we live our lives by that truth. We live authentically within that grace of God, allowing God to rhythmically flow through us and express as us, allowing ourselves to live a life of grace. For I know that God's grace is our sufficiency in all things. And so I give thanks for this day unfolding beautifully. I give thanks for the message delivered by Marcus this morning, knowing that it unfolds and is delivered with that energy and vitality of God, with that joy of God, with that love of God, with that peace of God. And I simply give thanks for everyone present here and within the sound of my voice online. I give thanks for your willingness to show up as those expressions of truth. All of our willingness is to show up as the expression of truth here and now. I simply give thanks and allow it to be so, and so it is.
What do you want? Where do you want to go? You'll get what you want if you act as if you know. It starts with you. Do you believe it all the way you choose to see when you change the way you look at things? The things you look at change when you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 do. When you feel lost, you can't find your way. Keep your eye on the prize, it will materialize. You can't miss, change the perception, leading you to a new direction. Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 do. Change, change, you can do it. Change, change, it's a sure thing. Change, change, expect a miracle. Change, change, watch me change, yeah. Change the way you look at things, things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, things you look at change. Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 again. Do 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 yeah. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 do. Thank you.
Ooh, all right. Nice. I like that. Thank you so much to our amazing band. Thank you. Do change. I love it. So let's come together in consciousness for a moment and say our focus statement together. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Awesome. We did it. All right. So now I would love to present our speaker for today, Mr. Marcus Gillian. All right. So Marcus, aka Million Dollar Haircut Gillian, is originally from Colorado, and he's a ministerial intern. He's fulfilled a long-term dream of moving to California in 2012. Shortly thereafter, he was introduced to science of mind philosophy, and fell in love with Centers for Spiritual Living. After a transformative moment during a Sunday morning gathering just like this, Marcus made the decision to return to school and pursue becoming a practitioner. In 2020, he graduated summa cum laude from Grand Canyon University with a degree in psychology. Impressive. And completed his practitioner studies. He is currently set to complete his master's in consciousness studies and certification in ministerial education from the Holmes Institute by the end of 2024. Time away from studies is spent with his fiancee Brett and their dog Toby. Marcus is also a musician, an orchid enthusiast, and an amateur gardener. Let's all give a warm welcome to Marcus.
Good morning, everyone. How about another round of applause for our musicians this morning? They are just fantastic. I know they go take a break, but all right. So here we are. Is it true? We are almost through with the 15 commitments of conscious leadership. This is week 10, so only 5 more to go. How are you holding up? Things good? Yeah? All right. Good, good. So this will be my final talk in the summer series, and I just want to say it has been so wonderful to come up to here to Riverside. You have been so welcoming, and it really has been a pleasure. Really good experience for me. And I know that wonderful information has been shared about this topic and this book. So, and it's been really fun for me to go through the book again. It was part of one of my classes, and when Reverend Jeff said that that was going to be the summer series, I was like, I'm in. Yeah, if you want me to come up, I'm for it. So today, commitment 10, we're exploring the opposite. So what does that bring up for you when we talk about exploring the opposite, when we talk about thinking about the other side of things? What comes to mind for you? And how has that opportunity show up in your life? And how many examples can you think of right now when you've been given the opportunity to think of the other side, the other way of thinking about it? And is exploring the opposite something you are comfortable with? Or is seeing another point of view something that is uncomfortable for you? Is it something that takes a little bit of time that you need to work through and see if you can get to? When I began exploring this topic, 3 things came to mind. There's a mental process of flipping the switch, just doing that simple little flip of the switch. Made me think of when I was a kid, we would go to a friend's basement, and we'd do disco in the basement. We'd flip the switch back and forth, and Mom and Dad would get mad because we'd blow out a light bulb. It made me think of my parents' relationship, and also made me think of a personal experience that I had with a former minister who shall remain nameless. But first, let's talk about seeing the other side, flipping the switch. Byron Katie, from the 1980s, I think, came up with The Work, a work called The Work. And in The Work, she says, I discovered that when I believed my thoughts, I suffered. But when I didn't believe them, I didn't suffer. And that this is true for every human being. Freedom is as simple as that. I found that suffering is optional. I found a joy within me that has never disappeared, not for a single moment. That joy is in everyone, always. Suffering is optional. What a powerful statement. I heard that for the first time, I think, in the early 90s when I was in Denver, and I was a member at 6th Avenue United Church of Christ. I was good friends with the social worker that was there, and she said that during one of our conversations, and it hit me over the head like a 2x4. Suffering is optional. And joy is a choice. I always want to put that at the end as well. Suffering is optional, and joy actually is a choice. And this talk of suffering harkens to the 4 noble truths of Buddhism. The truth that, well, I won't go into it, but the truth of the cause of suffering, or the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth on the path that leads. Let me do this better. Life is suffering. Suffering is caused by attachment. There's a way out of suffering, and then there's the truth that leads us on the way out of the suffering. They follow the eightfold path. So getting out of suffering, getting out of that attachment to our thoughts. And today, when I'm talking about thoughts, I'm talking about those thoughts that don't serve us, those thoughts that are limiting, those thoughts that are not true in any way, in an authentic way. So Byron Katie goes through a process where she invites us to ask ourselves some questions, to take an observational look at these thoughts that don't serve us. First, we can ask ourselves, now, is that thought true? Now, can I absolutely know that it's true? Absolutely know that that thought is true? Who would I be without that thought? And how do I react? What happens when I actually observe my belief of that thought? And when we've explored these questions, then we can experience a way to turn around. I think what Ernest Holmes says, to reorient ourselves within the law. So that what we are experiencing is the goodness. What we're experiencing is that which is the truth of our being, when we're connected to that source of all things. I'll talk more about that turnaround later here in the talk. But first, that exercise, asking those questions. So again, what I'm talking about are those not enoughness things. I will never get out of debt. I will never experience the life that I want to. I'll never find that partner. I'll never have that vacation that I've always dreamed of. I'll never experience security in my life. I can't have, it won't be. All of those kinds of things that stir us up sometimes in the middle of the night or throughout the day with that dialogue that runs through our head. So I would invite you now to kind of go through that exercise with me. So take a thought, one of those thoughts that may be coming up for you as I'm thinking about this, and if 20 or 30 thoughts are showing up, ask them to just form a single line, and we'll just take time with the one that shows up at the front. And ask yourself, is this true? Is that thought true? Can I absolutely know that this is true? I'll never get out of debt. I'll never find love. I'll never, whatever that is. Can I absolutely know that that is true? And observe what happens when you take a moment to really invest in believing that thought. What happens inside of you? What do you feel? Where does it show up? Now, if you haven't already done so, pause for a moment and close your eyes. And take a deep breath, a deep cleansing breath. And silently ask yourself, what would happen if I released all attachment to this thought? Who would I be if I didn't have to hold on to this way of thinking? There's no right or wrong answer. Just observe. And take a deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So what does it feel like to look at that type of thinking and then to explore the opposite? What would I be? Who would I be? What would my life experience be like if I let that thought go? If I went to the extreme opposite end, I am out of debt. I am in relationship. I am experiencing life right here, right now. This is something we can do anytime we have one of those thoughts that challenge us, that come up and go, oh, wait a minute, is that true? Can I know that's absolutely true? What am I feeling that's supporting that thought? And what would my life be if I let it go? If I let it go, if I stopped holding on, grasping desperately to it. I also said that this topic made me think of my parents' relationship. Exploring the opposite reminded me of a story that they told about the early days of their courting and when they had decided to get married. My parents have been married 57 years, and they chuckle when I say that they are an example for the rest of us. 54 here we have, and 28, so maybe you'll relate to some of the things that I say here. But in my 49 years of life, I have witnessed ups and downs in their relationship. At times, they've been like Maria and Captain Von Trapp from The Sound of Music. And at other times, they've been like George Costanza's parents from Seinfeld. But always together, always in partnership. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to just come around the corner as people that you love are talking to each other. You know, not eavesdropping, but you just happen to hear the tail end of a conversation. And those people, when they're in that type of commitment, when they're in that type of relationship, they have a communication. And it was always wonderful for me to just hear the way that they talk to each other. Now, when over 57 years ago, they came to my grandmother Dorothy, my dad's mom, may her light forever shine, and they told her they were planning to get married, she shared just a little nugget of wisdom. She said, "There is no piece of bread sliced so thin that it doesn't have two sides. It's impossible to slice it so thin that it still doesn't have two sides." Always being conscious that whatever is going on in our minds, whatever our beliefs are, whatever we are thinking is so right, you have to remember there might be another side to this, especially when we're in relationship. In relationship, in friendships, relationship in community, and relationships with ourself. Our self with a little s and our self with a big S, There's always a different way to look at it. And it's one of those phrases that's so simple. There is no piece of bread sliced so thin it doesn't always have two sides. So applicable in my life. When I'm challenged by politics, when I'm challenged by things in my relationship, when I'm challenged by my own beliefs of what I'm able to accomplish and where I'm going in my trajectory, and why am I not there yet? What's holding me back? What am I believing that's putting tar on my feet so that I can't move as quickly as I want to? And I have no idea how that wisdom played out in their lives, truly. I haven't never really sat down and had a conversation, and how have you applied that in your life, Mom and Dad? But I have seen the evidence of that type of behavior in their life. And when I was young and when I was growing up and I was having challenges with friends or family members, they would nudge me. Well, what's their point of view? Write it down in a letter. Talk to them about it. See what's going on. See if you can explore another way to look at it. For there's always more to explore when you think about having the right answer. It harkens back to the first talk that I gave in this series about learning through curiosity. When we think we have it so right, I'm not going to budge on this because I know it's right. Well, wait a minute. What would it be like if I explored a different way? And finally, the turnaround that I talked about earlier from Byron Katie. I mentioned at the beginning of this talk that this exploration of exploring the opposite made me think of a former minister. And I'll say there really is no such thing as a former minister. Whether we stay under their tutelage or whether we stay in the community where they're the leader, always Spirit has moved through them in a way that has spoken to us at that time that was perfect for us at that moment. So whether we stay or whether we go, the lessons that we have learned are quite important for us, I believe, on our spiritual journey. And I had an experience, a disturbing experience, one that bordered on the traumatic for me. Not to be dramatic, but that's what it was like for me at the time. And it was a part of this community where this minister is still the leader. And I was so wounded by this experience, I was so wounded by what happened, that I began to question this philosophy. I began to question whether I was going to stay on the practitioner track, and if this is what's going to happen when I'm a part of this type of group, then I don't want any part of it. I don't think I can continue. What have I done? What have I done that I've put myself in this type of situation? And I'm really glad that as a part of that practitioner track, I was required to have a relationship with a practitioner who is actually experienced in guiding people through those types of challenges. And this really speaks to me about the special relationship that we can have with practitioners when we really take the time to sit down and talk about those things that are challenging. Not knowing that they have the answer, but as my friend Lee Armentrout says, you may have lost your keys, and I don't know where they are, but I'm here to hold your hand as we walk around your house to find them. You know? And while the practitioner did not specifically use the turnaround method when we were going through this challenge, as they guided me around my own house so that I could find the key to unlock the door, the result was the same. The end statement was the same. The end result was spiritual freedom and opening of my mind. And I'll preface by saying that this minister didn't do anything unethical. I still talk to this minister, and I can still consider them a friend. But essentially, the conversation that I had with the practitioner followed the turnaround process. The first thing is we make a statement, the statement that we're believing. The minister was not there for me. Now we turn that around and express the opposite. The minister was there for me. And turn it around again. I didn't have the skill set at the time to express what I needed in that moment directly and not unemotionally, but directly. This is what I'm feeling. This is what happened, and I need to talk about it. I need to explore it. And I turn it around again. I wasn't there for me. Right? Now, this is not a method for us to stay in abusive relationships. This is not a method to justify staying in unhealthy communities. This is not a method for us to remain in harm. It's a way to explore, how can I see what's happening in a different way? How can I look on the other side of it and see what the possibility is for Spirit to move through me so that I open up in a way where I am comfortable expressing myself as me in this moment? No matter if it's a minister, a mom, a dad, a partner, somebody at the grocery store. How can I explore a way where I can be authentic as myself in this life? We are not subject to the world of conditions. We are not subject to politics, to horoscopes, to planetary alignments, to lotto tickets, to anything. We are not subject to conditions. We are expressions of that one life, that one love that overarches everything. And as we come into closer relationship with that, the more that blossoms in our life. So when we're having those experiences that do not support us, when we are having that dialogue that runs through our head consistently, telling us that we are not, we can't, we won't, we will never, we can explore the other way, which is the way of freedom, the way of life, which is limited by nothing and never will be. So is it true? When we come up in these places in our lives where we're unstable and we want to come back to balance, we can ask, is that true? Is that true? We are free to recognize that there are always two sides to every situation. Try and find a slice of bread that doesn't still have two sides, right? And we can turn it around to employ our consciousness to remove ourselves from victimhood and experience life in a way that is free and fulfilling. I can't get away from a talk without talking about Dr. Holmes, Mr. Ernest Holmes, where he says, we are surrounded by a subjective intelligence which receives the impress of our thought and acts upon it. This natural law in the mental world is neither good nor bad. It can only be said of it that it is, and that we may consciously use it. The law is a law of reflection, for life is a mirror reflecting to us as conditions the images of our thinking. Whatever one thinks tends to take form and become a part of their experience. That's from the Science of Mind. And as the authors of our text remind us, this is not about valuing one thought over another, but staying truly open to the exploration. So let's join each other in consciousness here, knowing that there is one power, one life, one love, one eternal existence that is always and forever surrounding all things. Everything that is exists within this one power, this one presence. There's nothing above it, there is nothing below it, or to either side of it, for everything exists within this one life. So that means that I am a part of this life. I am an expression of this one thought. I'm one with this power and this presence. And if this is true for me, then it is absolutely true for everyone here in this room, everyone online. All of creation is infused with this one power and this one life. As far as I can go outward to the galaxies, to the edge of the universe, as far as humanity has discovered, I know that God is there, and the spaces between the atoms of my being is saturated with this one life and this one law. I can never be removed from it, and I know that we are never separated from it in any way, shape, or form. And so I know that we are safe as we explore looking at the other side. I know that God holds our hand as we look at ways to see the other side, the brighter side, the more supportive side. And as we do that, as we accept that there is goodness, as we accept that there is life that is moving through us, God says yes. God definitely says yes. Oh, yes, my child, do more. I am here. Experience more, love more. For as much as you believe you can have, that I shall give you, and more. So I'm so grateful for this. I'm grateful that this is a truth, that this is not something that is manufactured, that this is not something that is forced to be. This is something that simply moves through us. And as much as we entertain and as much as we want to be in relationship with it, it will do that for us and be with us forever and ever, never alone. So in that gratitude, I do just simply release this into that infinite law of mind that understands everything about me, everything that is in my mind, everything that is in my heart and my thoughts, every sound that I make, every moan and groan, every laughter, every sound of joy. It says, yes, this is my child, my beloved. I am so pleased. I am so pleased. So I do say thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I release this. I let it go. I let it be. I set it down. And so it is. Amen.
I'm channeling the Queen. You're going to have to sing with me if you know it. Running hot, running cold. I was running on overload. It was extreme. Took it so high, so low, so low, there was nowhere to go. I had a bad dream. Somehow the wires were crossed, the tables were turned, and then I know I had no way to learn. Good to my edge of my shoes, nowhere to go in, and I know what to do. I'm tied it up with my point of view. I got a new attitude. I'm in control, my worries are few. 'Cause I got love and I never knew. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got a new attitude. Yeah. my worries are few, 'cause I got love like I never knew. Ooh, 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 I got a new attitude. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got a new attitude. Let's do it again, yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got a new attitude. One more time now. Ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got a new attitude. Woo!
Awesome. Thank you, man. And thank you so much to Mr. Gilliland. I'd like to invite our beloveds in service to come forward, collecting this morning on behalf of the congregation, are Cindy Lambert and Frank Conley. Receiving on behalf of the congregation is Mr. Ed Ryan. Your consciousness contributions to this center allow us to continue all of our wonderful work. One of the easiest ways to give is via text. To give, just send a text with the amount you wish to contribute to 951-419-5858. You can also go to our website, riversidecsl.org, and click on the link in the upper right-hand corner under the tab Contribute. For those in the sanctuary, you can do it the more traditional way and drop your bread into the baskets as they come around. We are so grateful for you and your ongoing generosity. All right. So please place your giving over your heart as we say this affirmation together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is. All right, let's get to it.
Well, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the love, for the love. Well, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the love, for the love. Oh, I'm grateful for the bounty that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the bounty, for the bounty. Well, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the bounty, for the bounty. Oh, I'm grateful for the blessings that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the blessings, for the blessings. Oh, I'm grateful for the blessings that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the blessing, for the blessing. Oh, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the love, for the love. Oh, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the love, for the love.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, just a few announcements before we close and go to Johnson Hall for coffee and, of course, snackies. Gotta love the snackies. All right, and the first announcement is our backpack drive, back to school. Yeah, kids going back to school. So thank you so much to everyone who contributed. We provided back-to-school supplies and backpacks for 19 youth. Yeah, let's give a hand for that. All right, at Sylvia Serenity Home. Cool. And we have some chair yoga. Yeah. All right, so today at 3 p.m., we are going to sit down to stand up. we are going to have a seat to chill out and relax. If you haven't come to chair yoga, please let today be your first day to come to chair yoga. Today, we're going to have a great time. I'm going to put that wig back on, and we're going to enjoy some chair yoga. So I'll see you today at 3 p.m. Now, we're going to go actually downstairs for people who are not able to make it upstairs. So we'll be downstairs in there today. All right. We have a workshop coming up. Workshop on how to apply the 15 commitments facilitated by Reverend Veronica Silva, and it's going to be on the 20th of August from noon to 2 p.m. There's only an investment of $25, and you can register today on the website under What's Happening. That sounds exciting. All right, now we have a special membership meeting for a special member, because Sunday the 10th is my actual birthday. Thank you. But we also have our special membership meeting on the 10th at 11:30 to officially vote to change our name to Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. All right, so we have a new attitude here. All right, so that is it, and I think that's it for any other announcements or anything like that. Cool. That's it for the announcements.
Can I have one?
Yes, please.
Because this is my friend Alan Benson, and he's going to be our regular drummer from now on.
Awesome.
Yay!
Thank you.
We love Alan. Alan owns Rockstars of Tomorrow in Rancho Cucamonga, and he's such a great guy. And he just said, I want to be your drummer. So thank you, Alan. We love you.
Awesome. Thank you. Can we get a drum roll, please?
No drum roll. Hi.
Awesome.
You're hired.
Thank you. All right. So please stand for the affirmation and benediction. All right. I'll say it, and then we can all say it together. Is it that? Bring it up. Oh. All right. I'll say it, and then we can all say it. I see a new perspective. I see a new perspective. There we go. All right. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. I receive it. And I move love forward. Because love lives here. Awesome. All right.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it, share it, receive it. And I move it forward because love lives here. Sing with us. Love lives here.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. Receive it. And I move it forward because love lives here. Love lives here. Love lives here. We love you guys so much. Have a great warm Sunday. Go have a snacky. When the world gets you down and you're feeling lonely, when you can't find your truth or find your center, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we love each other, and the scars that we see just make us stronger. We breathe it in together. We'll hold you up with grace. You know that love lives here in you and me.
love is here.
My soul breaks free, so excited to be united with you. Where love lives.
Love is here.
Where love lives.
Love is here.
When life gets you down, you can see the future. When it all seems too much for you to handle, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we pray together. And the hurt that you feel will be set free. We breathe it in together. We'll hold you up with grace. You know that love
is here.
in you and me.
Love is here.
My soul breaks free, so excited to be united with you. Where love lives.
Love is here.